Hello, welcome. Uh, yeah, I hope you're all doing well. I've had an interesting weekend. Put a new video out on my channel yesterday about flat Earth con man Eric Dubay, and all the flat earthers have found it, and they've not been too happy. But that's kind of adorable, really, that they think they control me. But that's all good fun. But this is a series where I've just been looking back at all the episodes of the new Doctor Who era since 2005. We've done the first Russell T Davies era. We've done Matt Smith, done Peter Capaldi, and now we're looking at the Chris Chibnall era. Yeah, generally regarded as certainly the lowest point in modern Doctor Who by some. Some would say it's the RTD2 era now, but fair to say it didn't get much love. Was it really all that bad? Well, I mean, you'll find out. But I won't give a spoiler. It wasn't all terrible. I will say that. Okay. All right. So, yeah, let's look at the first episode then, and that would be The Woman Who Fell to Earth. Okay, so first episode with our new Doctor, Jodie Whittaker, the first female Doctor, of course. I suppose I should put this in good. I suppose I should address the issues. So, Jodie Whittaker, the first woman to play Doctor Who. To be honest, at the time it was announced, I was like, yeah, okay. I mean, I think maybe when I was younger, I might have been one of those, no, the Doctor should be a man people. But by the time it actually happened, it was like I was past caring, to be honest. I didn't regard it as a particularly big deal. You might put some of the credit to Stephen Moffat there. He'd certainly laid the groundwork that Time Lords can change genders. So in that regard, maybe it wasn't so much of a shock. But no, it still upset a lot of people. But I was fine with it. I was perfectly willing to give her a chance. And to be fair, I do have some issues with her characterization, but in general, yeah, I've got a lot of time for Jodie Whittaker's Doctor. But the Woman Who Fell to Earth, yeah, it's a good series opener. I think it establishes Jodie's Doctor well. New companions to I'm sure we're going to get to learn all about over the next couple seasons. Spoiler, we don't really learn much more, really. But it was a promising start. Tim Shaw, he kind of sucked as a villain, to be honest. He looked interesting, he looked good, but he wasn't that great, really. But overall, I'd say it was a strong opener. Then we go to the Ghost Monument. Yeah, I'm not sure. I think I'll put it in okay. Yeah, I think that's fair enough. It's not really much to it. There's, you know, they get stranded on this alien planet. They get involved in some weird race to find the so-called ghost monument, which turns out to be the TARDIS. Yeah. Oh, and then we get the first one of the little inconsistencies that happens throughout the era with the Doctor, though. You know, where she has a go at Ryan for using a gun to take down these androids, which is okay. Doctor doesn't like guns. She doesn't have an issue with using explosives, though. It's just a weird inconsistency. Like it's a little inkling that Chris Chibnall doesn't really understand why the Doctor doesn't like guns. But no, I'll say it's okay. You know, it's watchable. It won't, you know, it won't last. It won't last in the memory long after. It's fine. Then we get to Rosa, and yeah, I know there's people who say this is controversial, but I think this is a very overrated episode. I honestly, I think, okay, when you look at it, you get a good biography of Rosa Parks, but in terms of a Doctor Who story, there's not much to it. It's just them, they've just got to drive a bus. And it does have the first of what I would call the He-Man endings of the Chibnall era. Now, what that is where at the end of the story, the Doctor tells us what the moral of today's tale was. And yeah, that becomes a bit of an annoyance over time. But yeah, it's, I know some people would put it up here, but honestly, I don't think it is that good. But talking of things that are as bad as everyone says, arachnids in the UK. Yeah, not much to recommend it. Giant spiders. You got the Donald Trump stand-in, and it's also it's quite confused, this episode, as well, as to what it wants to say. Like when you got the big spider at the end, it's too big to stand up. It can't, gravity causes it to collapse under its own weight. So we got the Donald Trump stand-in who shoots it, and the Doctor gets all high and mighty with him for it. But the thing is, the Trump stand-in guy, I can't remember his name. I think it's Jack Robinson or something like that. I think they call him. I can't remember. Yeah, he's kind of got a point, because the Doctor's plan was to slowly suffocate this giant spider to death, and Trump guy, he put it out of its misery, and you'd think there'd be some sort of moral quandary there, but no. All the companions, they all step in. They just tell the Doctor, no, you were right. And he's wrong, because you're always right. And yeah, so that is a big mark against it as well. But yeah, we'll move on to the Saranga conundrum, however you say it. Yeah, not for me. It's not for me. Again, it's another episode. It's got its fans, but no, I don't like it. I don't particularly like the pating. And yeah, I can't. Not really anything else to say. I just don't think it's very good. Demons of the Punjab. I think this is another episode that does get overrated as well. I mean, it's good, and you know, it feels like it should be a really big story for Yaz, but that doesn't really come across because she just sort of tells you what's going on, but not really how it's affecting her. And given that she should be the big emotional hook of the episode, yeah, that's a real disappointment. But you know, I would say it's a good episode, but no, it falls short of being great, I'm afraid. Kablam. Kablam, kablam, kablam. Where do I want to put it? It's another politically confused episode. You know, because yeah, clearly it's the workers who are the problem. Definitely not the unscrupulous bosses. You know, replacing the workforce. No. It's definitely the workers who are at fault. So yeah, you know, I'll move up slightly because it has the makings of a good episode, but you know, it just loses it towards the end. The Witchfinders. Again, this is an episode I am completely mystified by, because I know there are people out there who really like the Witchfinders. Yes, Alan Cumming, he does look like he's having a lot of fun in his role. And you know, there is a point about the treatment of women to be made here, but no, overall, I just don't think it's very good. I feel like there must be something other people are seeing that I'm missing. Because I don't see it. So go on to It Takes You Away, or otherwise known as the one where the enemy was a frog. Yeah, I think that's quite a good summation of the episode. You know, they get involved in this sort of dream world, you know, and you know, they can't break out of it. It's sort of like learning to let go, I guess, would be the main story, the main point. But yeah, no, again, it's not very good. You got the girl's dad, who's bit of a dick, but also the other inconsistency in the Doctor when she finds Graham and he's all upset because he's seen Ruth and he doesn't want to leave her, but then he goes to the other guy who lost his wife, and it's like, oh, you just get over it, come on. It's another one of those writing inconsistencies that do happen too often in the Chibnall era. And then we get this. What is it? The Battle of Ranskor Avkolos, and it's another poor season finale. You get used to these in Modern Who. There wasn't really even that much build up to it. You get Tim Shaw comes back from the first episode, but no, it's just out of nowhere, and we're supposed to believe that this is really, really epic, but no, it doesn't really feel epic in any way. But yeah, just another disappointing series finale. Again, inconsistencies, right? Because Graham finds Tim Shaw, and he doesn't shoot him, and the Doctor tells Graham he's so great because he didn't shoot him. No, but what Graham and Ryan actually did was they trapped him in eternal torment, which, let's be honest, is worse than just shooting him. Again, morally, this series is just all over the place. I don't know. We go to, but no, it's not Revolution. This is Resolution. Yeah, I would say this is actually our first one going into great. Yeah, I know some people think I've underrated episodes here, and I say I'm overrating this one, but no, I really like this one. It even even Ryan, he even threatens to have a character in this story. That's an exciting development. And I mean, the steampunk Dalek, yeah, I guess I can sort of take it or leave it, but it is at least a interesting concept, the Dalek made out of Sheffield steel. I mean, obviously I know Sheffield steel, I don't they make a big deal of it, but I suspect it's probably not as tough as Dalekanium. But for that, yeah, really like Resolution. I mean, it's good. It's a fun episode. A lot of time for it. Okay. Right, we're going to go into season 12. We're going to Spyfall. Yeah, I'm going to put this into good. Because the first episode, I would have said that would go into great, but it really loses it in its second half, unfortunately. This is Doctor Who's tribute to James Bond, and we get the return of the Master, played by Sacha Dhawan. I don't know, however you say it. And he's he's really good as the master. You know, I mean, we do have to address because the fact that because this version of the master, he does have brown skin, and the Doctor does use that as a weapon against him when she sells him out to the Nazis. Yeah, that's uncomfortable. There's no getting around that. But no, yeah, I would say it's good, but it could have been better. That's what I'd say. Then we go Orphan 55. Benny. Yeah. I don't like it. The supporting characters aren't that good. But I will give them that. They do look good. The dregs. I'll give them that. They do look quite frightening, but but no, I don't. I don't like the whole. Oh, that it was Earth all along ending. Yeah, and then again we get another He-Man ending. About we got to protect the environment, which that's fine, but yeah, it just came across quite heavy-handed, and and the whole reveal that it was Earth, it just seemed to come out of nowhere. So no, Orphan 55, not for me. There we go. Nikola Tesla's Night of Terror. Again, yeah, not a fan. We get Anjali Mahindra's return. If you ever saw the Sarah Jane Adventures, but you wouldn't recognize her because she comes back as a giant scorpion. Why did they use scorpions? Why not the Arachnos? I guess because they'd already used giant spiders and arachnids in the UK, and they didn't want to use spiders again, so we get scorpions. No, I might move. I'll move out to okay. Just thinking on reflection, I quite like Tesla and Edison. They've got they got some good chemistry between them. Yeah, I mean that's a weird way to say it. Good chemistry insofar as they clearly don't get on. But yeah, I'd say it's okay. Now we get to the start, the real start of the controversies. Fugitive of the Jadoon. Yeah, the one that introduces the fugitive Doctor. What's her name? Is it Ruth Martin? Yeah. Yeah. So the episode is only okay. It's nothing spectacular. I know it's supposed to be this big revelation that the Doctor has these other regenerations she didn't know about. But no. No, other than that, no, not really too much. And of course, this episode does give you an out if you do want to ignore all the timeless child stuff. Yeah, just look at the fugitive doctor's TARDIS and then just think about it for a moment. No, I don't have anything against Ruth here, the fugitive doctor, but yeah, this isn't anything special, I'm afraid. Praxius, do you know, probably the most forgettable episodes there's ever been. You know, I watched it a week ago to try and remind myself of it. I'm still struggling to remember. You know, I know it's about you know, microplastics. Again, good, you know, good environmental message, I guess. But good message doesn't make for good story. And we get to Can You Hear Me? You see this one. This was close. This was close to getting into great. But because it starts off really strong. It's really strong. But it just fumbles it right at the end. You know, I like the villain. You know, I like the way he manipulates the doctor. You know, uses her own hubris against her. You know, which he thinks she's always right. And you know, I like how he tricks her. But then, you know, the ending, it all gets resolved in about what, a minute, 2 minutes maybe. So it's a story that could have probably done with being 2 parts. You know, I could have easily lost Praxius and had this as a 2-parter, and I think that might have worked. But yeah, it just misses out, I'm afraid. Then we get to the Haunting of Villa Diodati, which I hope I have said correctly. And this one, I will put this one in great, actually. Yeah, it's the start of the Lone Cyberman trilogy. Again, little issue with that, but yeah. Yes, so I love the way the story is built up over the episode, the introduction of the lone Cyberman, and the new Cyberman theme by what was his name? Who was it who done the music during this era? Sorry, one moment. Sega Nakanola. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, his Cyberman theme. Yeah, generally the music in the Chris Chibnall era, I think it had been a step down from Murray Gold's time, but the Cyberman theme he introduced here, I think that was actually an improvement on the Murray Gold theme. So it's got that going for it. You know, I do have a slight issue with the portrayal of Lord Byron. Okay, I know it's only a minor quibble, really. But you know, the way they portray him in this episode, he's just like this weaselly coward. Let me tell you about the real Lord Byron. The real Lord Byron, he died of a fever. How did he contract a fever? He he got the fever while he was fighting the Ottoman Empire after uniting the Greek rebels in the Greek War of Independence. That's why there's a statue of Lord Byron in Athens. So the guy who done that is far removed from the character portrayal they have in here. But I guess in the grand scheme of things, I guess you don't really watch this for historical accuracy. But yeah, other than that, yeah, I think Horny Villa Diodati is a great episode. Definitely, it's one of the highlights of the Chibnall era, I would say. Then we get to second part, Ascension of the Cybermen. I mean, this is the most middle episode there's probably ever been. I mean, it's fine in that it fulfills its purpose. It's linking Haunting of Villa Diodati to the series finale. It does its job. That's just gonna say. You know, I think the Cybermen do look pretty cool. You know, it's like they're like a mix of classic and modern Cybermen. So I mean they look good. Yeah, Ascension of Cybermen. It's fine. It does what it says on the tin. It's the best way to put it, really. Right, and that gets us to yeah. I'm almost tempted not to rank it, but I guess we got to. The Timeless Children. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So the Timeless Children. Yes, it's the one that rewrites Doctor Who canon. I mean, it's tricky. You can rewrite canon, but you have to be careful with it. You still need to keep some established rules, and I said before, I think this does retroactively ruin the time of the Doctor. I think it removes the tension from that from the final scene in that. Then we got, and the thing is, it's not just that I don't like it. It's that the episode itself doesn't even have faith in this big revelation that the Doctor is the timeless child. I mean, the Doctor didn't need to be the timeless child. The Doctor didn't need to be more special. They were fine as they are. But yeah, the fact that just a few minutes after finding out that actually she is the timeless child, yeah, guess what? The fugitive Doctor turns up to say, well, actually, it's not really that important. It's not actually that big a deal, is it? You're still you. So, you know, so even if I was on board with this change. The episode's not on board with it either. It's so that's just a massive fail. Other than that, not much else. See, we got the master back. He's fine, I guess. Arshad, the lone Cyberman, who was, they sort of presented in the first two parts of it that he's going to be the main character in this arc, but he just gets wiped out pretty quick. So yeah, it's not good. So yeah, I like to imagine this episode doesn't exist. Revolution of the Daleks. Where would I put this? Just thinking. I'll put it in okay. Yeah, it's a bit Power of the Dalek-y. With these new breed of Daleks, I do like that it's like a direct sequel to Resolution, because the Dalek in this is I say the Dalek, I mean like the Dalek from which all the other new Daleks came. It was it's the same Dalek in both these. So I like that there is direct continuation. I like the Doctor. She brings the real Daleks to Earth, and who wipe out these pretenders. I think the bit where they all of them, all the millions of Daleks that are supposed to have come down to Earth, all rush in to the TARDIS in the space of a few seconds. I think that's silly. And they go to. I hate the bit where they say, "Oh, we're going to the warehouse in Japan. We're going to Tokyo. Oh, that sounds exciting. We get to see Tokyo in Doctor Who." No, you just see a warehouse. So yeah, that's annoying. It's when this is, of course, the episode where Graham and Ryan, when they say their goodbyes. Graham was he was all right. He was good comic relief, but again, he didn't really grow much over his time in the TARDIS. He wasn't particularly different for the experience, and to be honest, same with Ryan. Ryan wasn't noticeably different by the time he left the TARDIS than from the time he joined. But I thought, with them leaving, it'll make more space. So maybe Az will get more developed now. She doesn't. So then we get into the Flux. Okay. So before we go into Flux, I mean, in the interest of fairness, we should point out that that these episodes, they were made during COVID, so there were difficulties with filming. So they did a good job just to get them made made at all. I mean, even without COVID, whether they would have been that much better is questionable. But we can't deny it had an effect. Excuse me. So we'll start with the Halloween Apocalypse. I think it's a good start. It's where we meet Carvanista. The other thing with Carvanista is, he's a big dog creature, and the thing with him is he looks more ridiculous the more you see him on screen. I don't know what it is, but first time I see him on screen, he's fine, but each time he appears after that, he just looks more and more ridiculous to me. That's probably just a me thing, but it's just something I noticed about it. But other than that, I would say, yeah, it's a good start, and we get the introduction of Dan, played by John Bishop, and Dan's all right. I don't mind Dan. He only had a few episodes. I thought he was all right as a companion. And the thing with Dan, as opposed to the other companions that we saw during this era, he was like the only one who felt like someone the Doctor would actually hang out with. And he actually had some decent chemistry with Yaz, which was a minor miracle. But yeah, Halloween Apocalypse, good start. War of the Sontarans, I would say this is another good episode. I think it's probably the best of the Flux episodes. The Sontarans, they actually do look like a massive threat for the first time in a long time. So yeah, it's good. Definitely worth watching. Could do without the pan-fried Sontaran puns, but yeah, it's fine. But then we get Once Upon Time. And yeah, this is where Flux starts to go downhill a little bit. Yeah, when they go to the planet of time, and yeah, it's not great. But then it does bring it back a bit with Village of Angels. Yeah, I mean, I'm just trying to think. Well, when would the last time have been since we last saw the Angels? Probably been the Angels Take Manhattan. Oh well, they did have a brief role in Time of the Doctor, I guess. Yeah, I always say it's the tricky thing with Angels is there's not, with the Weeping Angels, is there's not a lot you can do with them because they don't talk. They can't move. All you can really do with them is look at them. So it's always hard to repeat the trick and still make it scary and exciting. But I think for the most part they managed it. they managed it here. And you know, then we get the creepy ending, you know, with the Doctor actually becoming an angel. You know, I really loved that visual. Yes, blinking heck indeed. Don't blink. Don't look away and don't blink. Right. What's the next? What's next? Survivors of the Flux can go right in the bin. Yep. No, not even going to dignify it. The Vanquishers, finale to Flux, and it's not very good. I think, you know, I think the Vanquishers themselves, I think they're decent villains, but overall, the story not up to much. We get to Eve of the Daleks, and I quite like this one. Again, it was filmed during COVID, and you know, I think this might be one of those situations where necessity is the mother of invention. So they, you know, they had to tell quite a small scale story, not many characters, not many locations, and I think they really pulled it off. I don't think I can quite put it in great, but I think it's good. You know, like the whole thing with the time loop. You know, I think that's really effective. Really effective. A lot of time for Aisling B. So yeah, I like Eve of the Daleks. Yeah, definitely. I'd say it's definitely one of the stronger specials of this era. Legend of the Sea Devils, no, just no. Again, it's another one where I've heard that, you know, because of COVID restrictions, they weren't able to film everything they wanted to, and originally there was a whole different version that it was gonna be, but I don't think it would have made that much of a difference. But no, not for me. Then we get to the final episodes of the Jodie Whittaker era, and okay, where do I want to go? I'll put it in there. I'll put it in great for the moment while I have a little think. Yeah, it's great to see Tegan and Ace back from the classic era, and Sylvester McCoy and Peter Davison and Paul McGann, poor Paul McGann, who never got a fair shake. You know, so you know, it's certainly got all the nostalgia. And Graham comes back, you know, and you know, for the Doctor's final episode. And we get the Master. I don't like the whole stuff with the body swapping. I think that's really stupid, and I don't think it's even necessary. You know, I think the Master can do the exact same thing without having to swap bodies with the Doctor. I mean, you know, I think that whole thread is just pointless. It's stupid, but yeah. I'll put it down into good. You know, because I think that's fair. I think it's good. It's not great. You know, Jodie Whittaker's final story. You know, she would have had to have left anyway because she was actually pregnant at the time they were filming this. Yeah, so that's the Chris Chibnall era. I think I've been quite fair on it. You know, nothing reaches fantastic. Like I say, fantastic. That's 4 episodes. You know, the best of the best. You know, near flawless episodes, and yeah, generally, I don't think there's anything from this era that deserves that. You know, again, it's not as bad as people say it is. You know, there are a lot of good episodes, but there are some terrible ones as well. There's no denying that. You know, I like Jodie Whittaker as the Doctor, but I didn't like the fam. They sucked. I mean, Graham was okay, but you know, Yaz and Ryan, yeah, just absolute personality vacuums. So yeah, that's it. You know, like I say, it's not as bad as people would say, but it's not that good either. So yeah, that'll wrap it up. Yeah, the next one I'll do is going to be the return of Russell T Davies, the RTD2 era, and that will take us up to the present day. So yeah, just still going to get these out while it's still culturally relevant to do so. You know, so thank you for joining me. You know, like and subscribe, all that YouTube stuff, and I will see you all later.